really like TV. Now, I know there are some people that think TV is not very spiritual, but I'm hoping to change your mind this morning. I wanted to take some time this morning and correlate television with prayer. You see, prayer is the channel we use for connecting and getting to know God. Not a God up in the sky somewhere, but a God that is everywhere present. You know, you can come to church every morning and listen to the minister talk about God, but if you don't spend some time in prayer, you will not have that direct connection with God. Just like you could sit and listen to someone talk about television forever, but if you didn't actually go over and turn on that set, the television is the receiver. If you didn't turn on that receiver, you wouldn't have any idea what television was really all about. All you would have is someone else's idea about it. And so prayer is turning on that reception, turning into that frequency of God. And you see, the interesting thing is that television is being broadcast all the time. There are television waves going on in this room right now. It doesn't matter that we don't have a TV set here. It doesn't matter that we don't have anything turned on. You know, the evening news or CSI or Oprah don't sit around waiting for you to turn on your TV set and go, oh, we can start broadcasting now. Those energies are broadcasting all the time. It's the beauty and wonder of cable television. It doesn't matter what time of the day or night you turn on that set, there's always something being broadcast. All we have to do is tune into that signal. They don't even care if your cable's hooked up, if your TV's on. It doesn't really matter if you're not connected. Something is being broadcast all the time. And even late at night when you can't sleep, there's something you can find on, even if it's just the shopping channel. There is something all of the time. It doesn't even matter if your TV has good reception. I've noticed out here, I don't know what it's like here in Little Rock, but where I am, the cable reception sometimes is not that good. On one channel, I'll have really good reception and really good sound, and I'll turn to another channel and the sound will be so low I'll have to like turn it up really loud just to hear. Well, if any of you tried to pray and found that you were getting static in your prayers, many people tell me that they have trouble meditating. Meditating is a form of prayer. Well, sometimes people try to meditate and all they get is static or noise, or they can't quiet their mind enough to hear that voice of God. Well, the wonderful thing about cable television is if you don't like what you're receiving on one channel, what do? You change the channel. And I'm here to tell you that the same thing can be said about prayer. There's always a channel you can tune into. It might take a little creativity, a little ingenuity, but the truth is you can always find a way to pray. And if you've only been tuning into one channel, I'm hoping to broaden your horizons a little this morning. And cable TV is so wonderful. You know, and I could be calling this satellite TV. It's just that I happen to use cable, so that's what I'm using. But it's wonderful because if there's a station or channel that isn't interesting to you, what do? You just change the channel. There's so much variety. We have tons of religious channels on television. Of course, we think of religious channels as a way we can connect with God. One of my favorites is Robert Schuller's Hour of Power. Another one that I used to really like to watch all the time, which isn't on anymore, was called The Best Is Yet to Be. And it was Phil and Dorothy Pearson, and they used to broadcast out of their church in Sacramento, and they're not there anymore. Some of you come here on Sunday mornings to hear the live broadcast of Unity of Little Rock. But I'm hoping to broaden that outlook this morning and give you an idea that there are many, many different channels that you can turn into this morning. And so let's look at some of the channels we have on television. We have the shopping channel that I mentioned earlier. You know, that's how many of us started praying. We would sort of look at everything that was available, decide what it was we wanted, what it was we needed, and we would place our order into God. And that was how we prayed. Hopefully, you've moved beyond that. In Unity, we teach to move beyond that. And it can be pretty boring if that's all you had on the television set was the shopping channel. I'd be pretty bored. And you might still turn into it once in a while. You know, I still use that shopping channel when there's something I really want. But there are lots of other channels. There's educational channels. You know, there are a lot of people that need that experience of knowledge to connect with God. The yogis call it, the Hindus call it jnana yoga, which is the path of knowledge. And you can use reading the Bible or some inspirational book as a way to connect with God. That can be a form of prayer. I have actually had mystical experiences reading. Mystical experience is something that moves you beyond yourself and expands you into something larger. You do it reading the Bible, reading spiritual teachings like the Bhagavad Gita. You might read Daily Word every day as a devotional. Anything that you read with the intention of connecting with your Creator. Now, this is not to say that reading anything is going to be a form of prayer, but if you go into reading something devotional with the intention of connecting with God and your attention on God, it can become prayer for you. I've had that experience myself, reading books. I've had mystical experiences reading, I read The Cloud of Unknowing, which is a very, very mystical book about centering prayer. I read a book called The Prayer of the Heart, written by Carol Worth Knox, who was my minister, and had that heart-expanding feeling of just feeling and knowing that my heart was opening up and I could feel that presence of God. So just know that that can be a channel that you can tune into if you want to connect with God. Now, how about soap operas? I'll bet you never thought about soap operas as a way of connecting with God, but you know, some people need drama in their lives in order to give them that awakening to turn to God. Now, maybe nobody here, are there any 12-steppers out here? 12-steppers know. Oh yeah, 12-steppers know that sometimes you have to hit bottom to realize that your life has become unmanageable so that you can reach out for something greater than yourself. The only thing about drama is that once you've found that connection to God, once you've had that drama and connected to God, you kind of don't want to go back to the drama. But it can serve as a tool for getting you connected to God. And then sometimes it's wonderful to just go back. I like watching soap operas once in a while because I look at that and go, that used to be me. Thank God it isn't anymore. What other channels we have? We have talk shows. You know, talking is a way that we connect with God. And many of us began our prayer. I used to do long talks with God all of the time as a child and still do. Now, some of the talk shows on TV are, I would say, probably not very holy. But there are some, like Oprah Winfrey, that actually serve to bring new thought into the world. And aren't we grateful for her? She's brought Deepak Chopra, Larry Dossey, Marianne Williamson. I'm sure many of you connected with Eckhart Tolle when she did her broadcasts and her Soul series. And she has done many other things, like getting people to practice random acts of kindness through her Angel Network, and she introduced the world to gratitude journals. Gratitude is another wonderful form of prayer, another channel you can turn into. Giving thanks is one of the highest forms of prayer. Try giving thanks for sunshine, for flowers, for the people in your life. And I can promise you, if you spend a day giving thanks, you will have felt that connection with God. Keep a gratitude journal. Anybody ever do that? Write down 5 things every night that you're grateful for. That has a way of keeping you connected, because then you go throughout your day and you're looking for things to be grateful for. And it's a wonderful way to connect with God and to get outside of yourself.